Alright guys, TacticalRab again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. And after all the drama last weekend about the flank and the breakdown, the fact that a new CDL YouTube deal seemed to be preventing any gameplay in any formats being shown on Twitch, and all the drama and the frustration that happened as a result, after many conversations over the last few days, ZooMaa has revealed that they've come to an agreement where this is now possible again. Clips and gameplay can be shown on Twitch, and quite possibly the flank can be going ahead as it previously did. What has therefore changed over the last few days? Is this another example, as I'm sure X is pointing out, of creating a problem to sell a solution? Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I greatly appreciate it. Firstly, the 200k Warzone tournament. Tommy and the guys won that, so congrats to these boys. There were some funny clips in that one, of course. We saw some of the 20k action when Najon and Forwell had all that stuff going on now a couple of days ago. There was also some follow-up on Doug dropping 4. If you guys didn't see yesterday's video, then Doug Drummond managed to go 4 in 17 here on Skid Row. But he got the win, and that's really all that matters at the end of the day. And even KiLLa Sloss, Adam KiLLa Sloss, a legendary player, world champion from 2013, he replied and says, you know, bro, 4 kills in an entire hardpoint, like, bruh. But I respect that you still got the dub. World champ, my man, still hilariously pathetic out of me. So it always goes down, and as I've said, like, in this game, many pros are going to drop single digits this year. I think it's already happened, hasn't it? And it's going to be happening again. So, look, if Doug's 7 was a bad one, this year Doug has some, you know, I think Doug could go lower than 4, to be honest. I think he could maybe be pushing, you know, pushing 3 or 2 on the way some of these maps play this year. And to be fair, it's not only Doug, of course, right? Beans comes back, former teammate of Doug on the Boston Academy before, and they also play a Skid Row hardpoint where Beans goes 6 and 8 for 2.5 minutes pretty much in the hardpoint. Now, to be fair with Doug, the way that this map Skid Row plays, you spawn into P1, you challenge it for about 10 seconds, then you rotate to P2. So if you're the guy doing the rotations, trying to anchor a little bit the spawns, you're not going to get that many engagements, you're going to get some hill time, so it's understandable. Maybe that's what Beans was doing. As he said, Ratman gets paid, so he's on the route, and you know, Doug's like, damn, 6? Like, you're fried, you know, like, come on, teach me the ways. I need to get more than 4 next time. These also are the 2023 World Championship rings, which turned up for the Subliners guys yesterday. It's kind of cool, actually, because back in the day, the rings used to have, well, they'd be the same regardless of the team. They'd get given them, like, the champs would end, and they'd put them on their fingers immediately, which is pretty cool. Nowadays, what they tend to do with the CDL is they'll make them for the teams of the CDL team logo or whatever after the fact. So they take a few months to get produced, and I mean, look, they're pretty sick, I'm not gonna lie. I think maybe I slightly preferred the Thieves one that they had from like the Vanguard season, but still, it's very clean. These are some other close-up images here of this one. I do wonder like what they'll do if like Subliners were to win it again, or if another team was gonna win it again, because every year of the CDL, it's been a different champs winner. So every year they've had a different kind of, you know, ring. Okay, the rough design has been similar, but even this, like on the side here with like the Statue of Liberty thing for New York, like it's really well done. So they've put these together. I think the teams get sent maybe 5 or 6. I'm not exactly sure how many they get, just because the players get one, and then usually it would just be, I think, for the coach as well. But of course, with someone else, they've got 2 coaches, Drill and Sender. So I don't know whether they get 6, because they can order more, but they have to pay for more. I think that's how it works. The CDL will say, all right, we'll give you guys 5 or whatever, and then if you want more, pay us whatever it is per one. I don't imagine it's that cheap. And then we'll get more created for other players or other staff or whatever. So this is Drill's one. Cinder, of course, got his one as well. And I thought it was interesting, Cinder's comment here. First of many rings, he says. So, you know, which is kind of a bit of an optimistic, maybe just not optimistic. I don't know what you guys think about it, because maybe if Call of Duty competitive is around for another 30, 40 years, then sure, Cinder can be a coach for a long time and collect many rings over that period. But, you know, you get 1 ring. It's pretty rare to have 1 ring at all. So he says first of many rings, because many implies like 3+, you know, so maybe he reckons that Subliners are in position to go back to back to back or whatever, because as we might predict, the CDL might not be around too much longer after this season. I know a few of you guys have pointed this out to me as well over the last couple of days, and like, you know, I cannot show up an opportunity to not rag on the CDL website when they make a mistake. So we're going to do it again. This is basically the case for every single team right now. I know a few of you guys have been sending me loads of screenshots over the last few days. This is OpTic, for example, and they're even listed here as Texas OpTic, which is, you know, I know that Hex won't be happy about that. But here we've got Dashy, Kenny, Pren, and Shotzzy. But of course, This ain't Kenny, that's Real on the Ravens, and this is definitely not Shotzzy, that's of course Estriel from the Los Angeles Guerrillas. And as I say, I think there's maybe a couple of teams, maybe Toronto have it right. Let me just check here. Okay, Toronto look correct, but if we look at, you know, the OpTic one, like, how do I get off this? Okay, yeah, view roster. All right, then maybe they've fixed it now. Yeah, I've looked through a few of them here, and they seem to now be about right. So I'm pretty sure, like, maybe 24 hours ago, a load of these were wrong. Or maybe they're still wrong on certain devices, I don't know, but I think they've actually got them right now, which is good. It's good that we fixed it, and a bit of community pressure, as is usually the case, sometimes gets some things resolved. So, you know, it seems like it's all resolved now, but, you know, will they break it again in the future? Maybe, maybe not. Quickly on the map set as well, I know there was lots to talk about this. This is one of the most mind-blowing 23 seconds that I've really seen here, as Brian Sate points out. Just have a look at this. So, I know that it's not the best quality, but pawn number 8 is in an absolute blender. So here we are in Invasion Hardpoint, and we get number 4 spawns right behind number 8 here down the street, eventually shoots him in the back. In the meantime, we then get number 3 spawns in on the right-hand side. Number, I don't know, the red guy spawns right next to him. I'm pretty sure this is coming up in a second. Yeah, okay, so it's number 2 and number 8. So number 2 spawns in right next to number 8, different teams, and then number 8 gets shot in the side again. In the meantime, the player number 5 spawned on the top side of the map, kind of like behind these blue arrows again, while number 1's on the flank here. And all while this is going on, after this happens, on the left-hand side, in the embassy in the palace, you then get number 8 spawns right next to number 3 on opposite teams. So number 8's going to do the absolute blender here, gets shot in the back like 3 times in a row of another enemy just spawning right next to him for seemingly not much reason. So we've seen some dodgy spawns, but that was 20 seconds of madness. But that's what Invasion Hardpoint is, and you've got to expect it. The interesting thing is the pros are still playing right now on the old patch update. They're not playing and grinding and scrimming it on the new spawns, of which there have been lots of questions whether they're actually good or not. Now, aBeZy says that if the new spawns are worse, it ain't looking good, and they're going to have to change the map set and probably put grease in. But they've been told that will not be happening until after Major 1. This is what I said the other day. Frankly, it's quite likely this will be the case. It usually is the case. They won't change the map set until after a major. But as aBeZy says, look, we probably want to put grease into something. Definitely a map like Terminal or maybe Subbase or something like that. Maybe Invasion if the spawn's going to be terrible, needs replacing. And they probably would want to do it over Christmas and the New Year when there's like 2 to 3 weeks off any matches. They'll get to test it during that period, but apparently no changes will be made until after Major 1 at the start of February, basically.
I actually have no idea. I haven't even touched the new patch. No, we haven't even touched it yet. But if it's worse than what they were before, then Lord, we gotta bring in a new map, aka Greece.
Well, they are worse.
But like, apparently, from what I've heard, I've heard that they will not change map set until after Major 1, which is insane, considering we have a 2-3 week break for our next matches.
So I know that aBeZy seems pretty frustrated about this, and I get it, but at the same time, this is usually how it is, that the map set or just the rule set in general needs to really stay the same for the entire major cycle. But at least I guess over Christmas and New Year, they'll have the chance to test Greece or even test Meat. I mean, to be honest, I didn't think Meat was going to be at all viable, but KiLLa says maybe put it in. The spawns on Terminal are horrendous and make 0 sense. Let's play Greece or Meat instead. Greece, I think, can be good. Sure, Greece has a lot of head glitches. It is what it is. Meat is very small, as I mentioned before, but maybe it's possible. I don't know. Like, I didn't really think I'd see anyone, let alone KiLLa, suggest that it might be Meat's time to shine. But the TJ says, like, if Subbase is still on the map with these spawns, we are doomed as well. So yeah, a lot of the pros aren't convinced. They want Greece in. Maybe they want other maps in. We'll see what they decide in the near future. But I wanted to talk about this whole Twitch CDL YouTube drama that ZooMaa again got into last night. So this is pretty funny. RST's on stream the other day. He tries to bring up a moment from this match against Boston, just wants to discuss it for a couple of seconds, and he's like, oh, I got a second, like, I can't watch this because here I am on Twitch broadcasting the YouTube, and apparently that's you know, against the rules. This was all the talking points of a couple of days ago now, when this past weekend ZooMaa and Scump were seemingly informed that they could not run their shows on Twitch as they had previously done because the new YouTube deal had, presumably at least, carried a new clause which prevented this occurring. It was seemingly the case before this season, in the other time the YouTube deal was a thing, that ZooMaa and Scump and these guys, because, you know, the breakdown, for example, obviously the breakdown didn't exist when the YouTube deal was a thing, so let's just say ZooMaa's the flank. On Twitch, after the matches, ZooMaa would wait for the stream to end on YouTube, then would bring up the matches and just go through highlights and stuff on the Twitch, and that was perfectly fine, as far as we understood, for 3 years, basically. Okay, 2 years, let's say, because it started in Cold War. Cold War Vanguard, that's what he did, and it was perfectly fine. So the theory would be that because ZooMaa was told the other day this is no longer fine, that the new YouTube deal that's come into effect for this season carried a different clause that said all of the opportunities to watch that on any other platforms are dead. You can only ever watch gameplay on YouTube. It's exclusive to the platform. No clips, no nothing on Twitch eternally, because that was the rumor as well, that the contract said that you can't, 6 months time, you can't watch anything. It's just how it is, or you'll get DMCA'd. And as outrageous as that is, that would be an explanation for why ZooMaa and Scump were told not to do so, and therefore ZooMaa was going to not do the gameplay on the flank, and Scump was going to do the breakdown on YouTube exclusively, basically, going forwards. That was going to be the solution from the respective parties. ZooMaa, however, and Scump, because they said they were kind of in this together on these calls over the last few days, made some calls, and it's now been confirmed he can watch clips and pull up gameplay on stream now.
So guys, I see a lot of people talking about gameplay, and I talked to the league and talked to some people, man. We are good, chat. I can show clips. I can pull up gameplay now. We're good. I talked to some people. I told you I got some updates for all. I got a lot more updates for y'all, but we're gonna wait till I'm gonna wait, but I'll tell you guys that since we're watching clips right now, since like we're going through Reddit and there's clips popping up and people are flipping out. Yeah, no, we're good, chat. We good, bro. You know what I'm saying? I got on the phone. You know what I'm saying? We talked to some people. Shout out to the colleague and all them. I told you, it's been good talks and everything has been good.
So I'm not sure what the clarification is on exactly whether he can do, you know, can he just pull up the VOD and watch an entire series? Maybe not. But, you know, clips. For example, you're going through Reddit and there's a clip there. Like, come on. I mean, that's just ridiculous if you're going to get a DMCA strike on Twitch for anything like that. Clips, highlights, discussions, you know, looking at specific moments. It can definitely fall under fair use in some respects, but, you know, at the same time, it's difficult to get away with that in other sports because the media rights deals are very exclusive and, you know, good luck watching Formula 1 anywhere and getting away with it even if you are trying to be, you know, constructive and add in some element of commentary or analysis that probably should fall under fair use, but often that's not necessarily the case. So ZooMaa's implying at least that, you know, gameplay, clips on the flank is once again going to be fine. This raises the question to me, why was it not in the first place? Because the YouTube deal will not have been redone over the last few days. There's approximately 0% chance that they have gone back to YouTube and said, yes, well, this new clause, can we take it out, please? And you should be like, all right, yeah, sounds. They're like, we'll just get the lawyers to sort that out, because that's not something that you turn around in a short period of time, and that's certainly not something that YouTube would say no to unless they were having to pay less money. So that's like almost certainly not happened. Like the contract is the same now as it was a few days ago. So if the contract is the same now as it was a few days ago, and ZooMaa is now allowed to watch gameplay and clips on stream on Twitch, then surely he also was a few days ago. But they were telling him at the time that he wasn't able to. This is what confuses me. It's like, it makes it seem like they have tried to take action against ZooMaa or the flank or Scump Show or whatever, right? That's how it felt to the community at the time, that it was almost like an attack on these creators. And now they're saying, oh, actually, we've had some conversations and it's fine. It's like, well, was it not just fine all along? And yet you've told them they can't do it to try and force them to be exclusive to YouTube themselves, even though YouTube aren't paying them to do so. That's kind of how it felt from a community angle, that it was almost like trying to strong-arm ZooMaa and Scump to be on YouTube exclusively for their shows by saying that they couldn't do it on Twitch, even though apparently that's not actually the case. So it's very confusing, and I know that there's some positivity around this, as there should be, because the flank is a staple show to the scene, and it's good that it's going to be back in either the form that it used to be or a very similar form. Maybe they won't just have the gameplay running in the background the whole time. Maybe they'll just look at specific clips and moments, but better than, you know, nothing. And as Crone says, you know, this is the Activision meta. They take something away, they give it back, we celebrate. You can't fool me, I'm familiar with your game. So while there is some positivity, understandably, honestly, I just think it's very interesting that this was apparently not possible a few days ago, and now that it is. Like, what is the story there behind the scenes? What does the contract say? What does the clauses say? We just don't know. And, well, especially if you're one of these guys making content on other platforms, you probably should be able to know, and maybe they now do. But very much interested to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.